Your doctor checks your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, but there's one number, one simple number that predicts how long you'll live better than all three of these combined, and almost nobody is measuring it. A study published in New England Journal of Medicine followed thousands of men who came in for exercise testing. The finding cardiorespiratory fitness, your aerobic capacity, was a stronger predictor of death than hypertension, diabetes, or smoking. Stronger than smoking. Every single unit of improvement in that capacity reduced the risk of dying from 13 to 50%. Not 2, not 5%, 13 to 15% per unit. That number is called VO2 max. And today I'm going to show you exactly what it is, what it declines every decade after 30, and most importantly, that specific type of exercise that research says is the most effective way to build it after the age of 50. There is also something that I need to tell you about Zone 2. The exercise everyone in longevity world is talking about, and most channels are getting wrong. And I'll get to that in that 8-minute mark. Stay with me. PO max is your body's maximum capacity to take in, transport, and use oxygen during exercise. Think of it as the engine size of your cardiovascular system. A bigger engine means your heart, lungs, and muscles work more efficiently on like every level of exertion. You plant stairs without gasping. You carry groceries without your heart racing. You recover from illness faster. You stay functionally independent longer. And according to 46 years of prospective data from the Cooper Center longitudinal study, you live longer. Here's what happens to that engine after 50 if you don't train it. VO2 max naturally declines 5 to 10% per decade. That sounds manageable until you do the math. If you're 55 today with average fitness and you do nothing, by 75, you could have the aerobic capacity of someone who is frail, not because of disease, because of inactivity. The good news, VO2 max is highly trainable at any age. A paper in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise confirmed that older adults who train consistently can improve VO2 max significantly, even in their 60s and 70s. Now, VO2 max is the destination. Zone 2 is supposed to be the road. But before I show you how to actually get there, I need to explain what Zone 2 actually is. Because most people doing it are either doing it wrong or they're not doing it at all, and they don't know it. Zone 2 is the intensity where your body primarily uses fat as fuel, where your heart rate sits between roughly 60 to 70% of your maximum, and where you can hold a full conversation, but you're clearly working, not strolling, working. There's a simple fuel test you can do right now. If you can't sing while you're exercising, you're too easy. If you can't speak in full sentences, you're at your heart. Zone 2 lies in between. At this intensity, something specific happens in your muscle cells. Your mitochondria, the energy factories in every cell, get stimulated to grow and multiply. This process is called mitochondrial biogenesis, triggered by a protein called PGC1 alpha. More mitochondria means more efficient energy production, less oxidative stress, better metabolic flexibility, meaning your body switches between fat and glucose more efficiently. All hallmarks are of slower biological aging. But here's where it gets interesting. And we had promised to tell you what most channels are getting wrong. Because the 2025 research on Zone 2 changed something important. And if you've been doing Zone 2 exclusively, thinking it's the ultimate portable, you need to hear this. A narrative review published in the Journal of Sports Medicine in 2025, led by researchers at Queen's University and McMaster University, two of the most respected exercise science institutions in the world, reached the conclusion that contradicts what Peter Attia, what Andrew Huberman, and most of the longevity podcast world has been saying for 3 years. Their conclusion: when total training volume is controlled, zone 2 does not produce superior mitochondrial adaptations compared to higher intensity exercise. In plain language, if you're only doing zone 2 and you're not doing much of it, you're leaving results on the table. Now, I want to be precise here because this is not a reason to stop doing zone 2. The review is very clear that Zone 2 has a place in every training program. It's the lower impact, which matters enormously after 50 when joint health is a factor. It's sustainable. You can accumulate large amounts of it without excessive recovery. And it's the most accessible form of structured aerobic training in existence. Walking, cycling, training, all everything counts. The correction is this: Zone 2 works best as one component of a problem, not the only thing to do. Quick pause. Because what I'm about to show you in the next 5 minutes is a specific protocol that the evidence actually supports for people over 50, not a generic fitness tip, not this exact structure, how many days, what intensity, how long, drawn from what the research actually recommends. If you're not subscribed, this is a good time for it. New video every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. The evidence points to what exercise science calls a polarized model. Roughly 80% of our training at low intensity, zone 2, 20% at high intensity, zone 4 or zone 5, almost nothing in the middle. For most people over 50 who are not a competitive athletes, this translates to a very simple week. 2 to 3 sessions of zone 2 per week, 30 to 45 minutes each. Working fast enough that you're working but could still talk to someone next to you, or cycling, or streaming, or an elliptical or a moderate pace, plus one session of high intensity per week. This can be as simple as: after your zone 2 walk, do 4 to 6 intervals of 30-second walking as fast as you can, with 90 seconds of easy walking between them. That's it. That combination, zone plus zone 2 plus short intervals, is what the current evidence says produces the best cardiorespiratory adaptations for people with limited training time. Now, I've told you that what VO2 max is. I've shown you what the research actually says about zone 2, and I've given you the protocol. But there's one more thing, something that almost no zone 2 content ever addresses. How do you know it's actually working? Because without this, you're exercising blind. There are 3 ways to track your VO2 max progress in order to from most to least accessible. First, and the cheapest, the talk test. Once a month, do the same route, same hill, same distance, and notice how you feel. If you're getting mass breakfast or at the same pace, your VO2 max is improving. Simple, 3, effective. Second, a fitness tracker. Most modern smartwatches, Garmin, Apple Watch, Fitbit, estimate VO2 max from heart rate data. The actual number isn't perfectly accurate, but the trend over time is useful. If you estimate the VO2 max is going up over 3 to 6 months, you're moving in the right direction. Third, a clinical exercise test. A CPET cardiopulmonary exercise test gives you the most accurate number. Some cardiologists and sport medicine doctors offer this. If you have any history of heart disease, this is worth asking your doctor about. And here's the number to aim for. Research suggests that adults over 50 have VO2 max above 35 for men and above 29 from women correlates with significantly reduced mortality risks. Let me put all of this in a perspective because I don't want you to leave this video thinking that you need a heart rate monitor, a training plan, and a CPET before you can start. You don't. The research is clear in one thing above everything else. The biggest longevity jumps comes from going unfit to modern to fit, not from elite to superhuman, from sedentary to moving regularly. A study following men for 46 years confirmed it. Every unit of VO2 max maintained obtained was associated with a 9% reduction or in all cause mortality. 9% per unit. That number accumulates. And it starts with a walk, not a race, not a gym, a walk. At a pace where you're working, but you can still tell someone about your day. Two things before you go. First, if you missed Sunday short on John Chu, it's 30 seconds long and it's on my channel. Second, on Thursday, I'm going to inside the brain because here's something the View 2 Max research also found out that almost nobody talks about in the fitness days. The same cardiorespiratory fitness that predicts how long you live also predicts how sharp your mind stays after 50. The Cooper Center data linked low fitness to higher dementia risks, independent of diet, genetics, or lifestyle. On Thursday, I'm breaking down the 7 daily habits that predicts your brain, and one of them will genuinely surprise you. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you Thursday.